This video is the Theme, Research and E-Awareness, Unit BrainPop. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to use Tizzy's First Tools, the Present program, to create a presentation about e-safety. First of all, we need to make sure that the level 3 star has been selected. So when the level 3 star is yellow, you can move your arrow over to the Present program and click. This is the software that we'll be using to create our presentation. You'll notice straight away that we've got a big white space, which is what we're going to use to do all of our work on. We've got lots of buttons here at the top. We're going to be using a few of those in this video tutorial. The first of those buttons that we're going to click on is this button here. It's called the Layouts button. If you click on that button, it'll present you with a Layouts menu that you can scroll down to choose a different layout for your presentation. I'm going to use this layout here. It's the second one from the bottom. So I move my arrow over that layout and click. Now that we have our layout, it's time to put the pictures in and the text into our presentation. Now remember, this presentation is going to be about e-safety and it's going to relate to the BrainPop video that you've just watched. So if you put your arrow over the Pictures button and click on that, you'll notice that at the top of the menu that appears, there's a BrainPop picture bank. If you click on that, you should notice some familiar pictures from the BrainPop video that you've just watched. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some of these pictures into our presentation and then we're going to write about them. I'm going to start by putting the Rule 1 picture here into this box. And the way I do that is I move my arrow over the picture, click, keep my mouse held down and drag it across into the box. Now you can see that the picture is too big for the box, so we need to resize it. And the way we do that is, if you have a look at my arrow on my screen moving around, as I move my arrow towards these red boxes in the corner of the picture, it changes into a crosshair like that. Once you have the crosshair, you need to click on your mouse, keep hold of your mouse button and drag towards the middle of the picture. You can see that that resizes this picture. And once it's small enough to fit in the box, you're then ready to move the picture. Again, to move the picture, if you have a look at my arrow, as I move my arrow into the picture, like that, it turns to a hand with a pointing finger. Once your cursor is a hand with a pointing finger, you can click, keep hold of your mouse button, and drag that picture into the box. Like that. Then what we've got to do is we've got to find the appropriate picture that goes with that rule. So which of these pictures is appropriate for keeping your identity a secret? If you remember from the video, of the BrainPop video of e-safety, it's actually this picture here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the same technique again. We're going to click on this picture, keep our mouse button held down and drag it into this box here. Now once I've got that on my screen, I'm going to close this picture menu so that I can see the whole slide. Like that. And again, I'm going to move my arrow over one of the red boxes, click and drag to resize the picture. Then I'm going to move my arrow into the picture, so I've got the hand with the pointing finger. I'm going to drag the picture into the box, like that. The next task that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually write some text in this box at the bottom that explains what Rule 1 is and why we must stick to this rule when we're using the internet. So I'm going to think very carefully about what I'm going to write inside this box before I actually start typing it. If you can do the same, you'll end up with a good piece of text that explains the rule and why we must stick to that rule. So I've had to think about what it is that I want to write in this box. Now to write the text, I have to move my arrow inside the box and click. I'm going to click at the top left hand corner here, like that, and you can see that I get the red line. That red line shows me that I'm ready to start my typing. Okay, if you're not happy with where that red line is, you can move it down by clicking again, or you can move it up and just keep clicking where you want the red line to appear, like that. Now what I'm going to write is, we must keep our identity a secret because bad people might steal our information or try and trick us. Full stop. Now remember, when we write a sentence, we must always start with a capital letter, and we must finish a sentence with a full stop. Now once you've written your sentence, what you need to do then is click off of your text, so click anywhere on the screen, like that, and then click twice, really fast, back on the text. Ready? Like that. And what that does is it selects this text, and you can see that I've got these red boxes around it again, which means that I can resize it. And the reason I want to do that is you can see that the text has gone over this box here. So I'm just going to resize by clicking on the red squares at the bottom. You can see that my arrow has changed not to a crosshair but to 2 arrows. That means I can resize this text box. So click on the red box and drag it so that it's inside this box, like that. And then I'm going to move it into the middle by moving my arrow into the text. So the cursor changes to a hand with a pointing finger. Click and drag that text into the middle like that. Now this has started to look like a fantastic presentation. I've got 2 pictures and a piece of text that explains those pictures. I can make it even better. The way I can do that is I can start recording me saying what I've written in this box. And to do that, I'm going to use this button here. It looks like a microphone, and it's called the record button. So if I click on that, it brings up this box here. Now then, something else should happen when this box appears. Now what's happened here is that the other thing that's supposed to happen when I press this button has not worked. What's supposed to happen is this menu should appear, as well as a picture of a speaker. Now you can see that that's not happened. I can't see a picture of a speaker on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this by clicking on the cross. I'm then going to click off of this box here, like that. And then I'm going to try again. I'm going to click on this button, and now I've got the record sound menu and this speaker button. So if when you press this button these 2 things don't appear, just make sure that you've clicked off everything and that you then click on this button, okay? So I've clicked off everything, press this button, and my record sound menu has appeared as well as my speaker. Right, once I've got these 2 things, I'm ready to record what I've written down here at the bottom. I advise that you practice reading this before you press record, okay? But when you're ready, what you need to do is you need to press this red record button and then speak very carefully into your microphone. So you must make sure you've got a microphone and maybe a set of headphones as well, so that you can hear yourself quietly. Once you've got those things, you're going to press this red button and speak very clearly into your microphone. And I'm just going to read out this text. So I'm going to do that now. We must keep our identity a secret because bad people might steal our information or try and trick us. You'll notice that once I'd read all of this text, I then pressed the black button to stop recording. Okay, and what I can then do is press this green arrow here to play what I've just recorded and see if it sounds okay. We must keep our identity a secret because bad people might steal our information or try and trick us. Okay, and I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with that sound. So what I'm going to do is close this. I'm then going to leave this speaker here, like that. And what happens is, if I press this play button to see and watch the show, this is what my presentation will look like when people see it. They can see my pictures, they can see my text, and if they click on this button, we must keep our identity a secret because bad people might steal our information or try and trick us. And they can listen to what I've had to write. Okay, so you can test your show. Once you're happy with that, you can click on this cross and go back to completing your presentation. Now I've finished one slide. What I need to do now is click on these arrows here and do the next slide. Don't worry, it hasn't deleted what I've done. If I want to see what I've done, I just go back one more slide like this. So I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm going to click on the pictures button again. the BrainPop picture bank, drag rule 2 into this box, resize it so that it fits nicely into here, drag the appropriate picture onto my screen, close this menu, resize this picture, decide on what it is I want to write inside here. So I'm just going to write, we must be extra careful with strangers on the internet because we do not know who they are and whether we can trust them. Full stop. Click off of the text, click twice really fast back on the text so that I can resize it, fit it in this box, move it nicely, and I'm ready to record. Press the microphone button. Oops, you can see that my speaker hasn't appeared, so I'm going to close that. I forgot to click off of my text like that. Then press the microphone button, and I'm ready to record. We must be extra careful with strangers on the internet because we do not know who they are and whether we can trust them. I'm just going to test it to make sure it sounds okay. We must be extra careful with strangers on the internet because we do not know who they are and whether we can trust them. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to close it. I can then click on this button, and you can see that it goes back to slide 1 like this. If I click on the screen, it'll go to slide 2, and this is my presentation. So what you need to do is you need to create, if we go and have a look, you need to create enough slides for the 5 different e-safety rules. So you should end up with 5 slides where you've got 2 pictures on each slide, a piece of text to explain the rule, and then a speaker here where you've recorded you, yourself, reading this text out loud. And once you've done that, you then need to save it by pressing on this green tray button here, and then you finish this task.